How strong is Golden Freddy? Or Fredbear, or Yellow Bear? He has a lot of names. Golden Freddy is perhaps the most well-known animatronic in Five Nights at Freddy's, aside from Freddy Fazbear himself. He's also one of the most powerful. Unfortunately, his power is hotly debated, and to fully understand why, we're going to have to split this into 3 talking points: the meta-contextual, the canonical, and the contextually subjective categories. Take a seat, cause we gonna learn some things about this bear.
First, a look on the meta-contextual side of the Five Nights at Freddy's mythos and lore. This is the most basic layer to start with, and it all has to do with the games themselves, as well as the making of. Meta-contextual means to look at something from a real-world context, how it applies to the meta of the content itself, and how this shapes both the fictional world we're discussing, as well as coloring our perception on it in our decisions. Boiling this down to a comparison level to make it easier to understand. In comic books, the meta-contextual level is the artist explaining what they're drawing while you watch them draw it. It is removed from the art form itself, but can help explain what the art means and represents. On the meta-contextual level, Golden Freddy was originally an Easter egg in the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, a recolor of Freddy Fazbear, designed to mess with the player's perception. It was a rare occurrence to see Golden Freddy, who at this point didn't have a name in the canonical sense, so fans applied the name Golden Freddy to him. On a closer inspection though, the files for the game label the Golden Freddy files as simply Yellow Bear. And if you've seen our video on how strong is Funshine Bear, you already know how we feel about yellow bears. They stink. Ew.
I like that.
Essentially, Golden Freddy in the first game was a rare encounter based on Freddy Fazbear's design and was one of many ways for your character to die. On the canonical side, though, it's a little different than that. Here's where we need to talk about Fredbear. Fredbear is the precursor to Freddy Fazbear, although on a meta-contextual sense he was made later on. In the canon of the games, Fredbear's Family Diner was a restaurant that existed before Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and in fact, Freddy Fazbear is designed to look like Fredbear. Now, see, Golden Freddy is actually a ghostly version of the original Fredbear costume, and although we don't know for sure which dead child's soul is powering the animatronic, we can use contextual subjection, and most people will say it's a child named Cassidy. This isn't proven or disproven by the canon nature of the games, but that's just a theory we'll talk about later on.
What kind of theory is it, Mike?
A game theory! Thanks for watching!
I love it.
I don't. I hate it and I want to go.
Dude, here's my theory. We could just be better, MatPat. Canonically, Fredbear is a spring-lock suit, which is a suit or an animatronic depending on the situation. Although they are usually presented as animatronics, they can also be suits with children or actors inside of them. This is true for some older mascot characters at Chuck E. Cheese's. Originally, all the performers were real people in suits, but eventually they were replaced with animatronic performers. For some of these earlier animatronics, they are literally robotic skeletal frames constructed to wear the already existing suits. This is a meta-contextual note, but could subjectively be applied to the canon of the games. For example, if we look at the endoskeleton frames of Freddy Fazbear present in the instruction manuals for the first game, we see that this is exactly what was done.
One of the more well-known Springlock characters in the canon lore of Five Nights at Freddy's mythos is William Afton himself, who became Springtrap when wearing a bunny suit. As for powers and abilities, ever since his first appearance, Golden Freddy seems to just ignore doors. What are doors anyway? We can ignore them. Golden Freddy either walks through walls, teleports, or possibly both. That's when we get into the contextually subjective ideas of what Golden Freddy truly is. Marketable plushie. Henry, don't turn me into marketable plushie.
Which is to say, like many of the other characters in Five Nights at Freddy's games, we believe that Cassidy had put on a Springlock Fredbear outfit, or much more likely, one was placed on her. Probably by that William Afton guy. He's kind of a big old meanie like that. Once like this, Golden Freddy was able to teleport his slumped-over body around into the night guard's office. His head can detach and fly at you, killing you instantly. That's terrifying.
Now, whether or not Golden Freddy is Caste is up to debate. For one thing, they're different genders. This would be the only instance of an animatronic taking the soul of a child of a different gender. For another thing, in the novels, the child that becomes Golden Freddy is referred to as he throughout, which would be consistent with the other animatronics unless Caste used he, him pronouns. It would contradict that. That one is also referred to as vengeful spirit, so who knows. Some people even say there might be multiple Golden Freddys, but those people are called MatPat, and he's wrong.
Alright, time for the stats. We'll be using the conventional Care Bear stat system here, because why not? Why not? Because they're not Care Bears. That's why not. Caring pass.
Belly badge doesn't have one.
Speed, 10. And here's where we get into the debate of what's faster, regular speed or teleportation. If you were in a race against someone and they teleported to the finish line, they still technically got there before you did, so I'm counting it. Strength. Alright, this one is the big one. Golden Freddy can detach his head and have it fly into you, killing you instantly. This implies a certain level of centrifugal force applied into the attack, as well as speed and trajectory. It would require 4,000 newtons of force to break any human bone, if delivered all at once. This would be the equivalent of 899.24 pounds of pressure delivered all at once, assuming that the Fredbear suit is about 7 foot 5 inches tall, which is a fair estimate given that it's an animatronic suit. We could probably assume his head itself is a third of the total height, which would be about 2.47 feet tall. If the Night Watchman is killed instantly, this amount of pressure would have to be at least 899.24 pounds of pressure distributed through a projectile 2.47 feet in diameter. This is roughly the equivalent of launching a 3-pound cannonball straight into someone's head. Gonna go with a 10 here?
Jump. I'm gonna say 9 here because teleportation could be described as a form of jumping. Heroism! No.
Anyway, that's how strong Golden Freddy is. Go subscribe to Gibberish Jamboree. The link will be down below. So
yeah, FNAF is like a little baby game.
FNAF is like a little baby game. Let's make fun of FNAF.
It's basically baby's first horror game.
Oh man, it's so scary the way that the jump scare.
They're not even well done jump scares. They're like you can prevent them. You can be staring directly at the animatronic in the hallway, and then it's just like, oh, it's gone. Oh no, it's in my face. Like really?
Something's
Really?
gonna kill me. I better pull up my security monitor and then put it down again. Oh, they're gone. That's a
It's the
relief.
second game. Let me just put on my mask while this animatronic looks dead into my eyes.
Oh yeah, my mask that looks nothing like a Care Bear. No sir.
Hope none of this is going in.
All of this is going in.
But we are so close to 1,000 subs.
I don't want this to be a FNAF channel either. Yeah.